Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have released email exchanges between Jeffrey Epstein and others about President Trump. Among the documents, this 2019 email from Jeffrey Epstein to author Michael Wolff that said, quote, Trump knew about the girls and asked Ghislaine to stop. That's a reference to Ghislaine Maxwell. Weijia Jiang joined us now from the White House. What else do they say or suggest, Weijia, and what is the White House saying about those suggestions or implications?
Well, Major, Democrats are suggesting that President Trump knew much more than he has acknowledged to knowing about Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation and all of the heinous crimes that he was convicted for. And so Democrats released these emails that were part of a 20,000 document tranche. And it was the Democrats who redacted some of those things. In another email that Epstein wrote to his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, back in 2011, Epstein writes that Trump spent hours at his house with Virginia. And that Virginia is Virginia Giuffre. The reason that matters, first, the White House is the one that identified her, and that is because in these documents that were released originally by the House Oversight Committee, there was not a redaction of that name. And so Virginia Giuffre is a survivor of Epstein abuse who ultimately died by suicide earlier this year. And she has said in depositions that President Trump did nothing. She saw him do nothing. She saw him not participating, and in fact said he was always just very friendly to her. So the White House is accusing Democrats of trying to cover up something that should never have been covered up, because this is a person who has already publicly said Trump had nothing to do with Epstein's operations, Major. So it is a bit complicated, but it's important context because that is what the White House is pointing to today to say the only thing that these emails show is that President Trump did nothing wrong.
On the House floor, as the House continues to debate the rule that will procedurally press things forward on ending the government shutdown, some Democrats are mentioning these emails, calling for the Justice Department to release all of the available documents. Is there any indication at the White House that it is in favor of full Justice Department disclosure in this space?
Well, previously during the campaign, now officials in the Trump administration, then supporters of candidate President Trump, were very vocal about calling for the full release of all the Epstein files. And now the Department of Justice, of course, led by Attorney General Pam Bondi, says that they have already released everything that they legally can. And Democrats in Congress are calling their bluff on that. They are demanding that the Justice Department release even more. And just a few hours ago, there was an additional Democratic Congresswoman of Arizona, Grijalva, who could be the last and final vote needed, Major, to force a vote to see whether DOJ will actually release more of those documents.
Weijia Jiang at the White House. We should note that Adelita Grijalva, sworn in, was the 218th signature to the discharge petition, which makes that now a live matter before the House of Representatives on a vote to release the Epstein files. Not the only vote that will be taken on that matter, but an important hurdle crossed in the House of Representatives. Weijia Jiang at the White House, thanks so much.